Sosua was just a piece of land with a few buildings on it. It was a very primitive part of the world and very sparsely populated.
There were 2 barracks and a few shacks, no electric light, and the mosquitoes were humming.
We had a joint kitchen. All the women took their turns cooking for everyone. We had a joint dining hall. Everyone ate together. The houses did not have individual kitchens. It was really a communal living.
Very often we had no water. There were earthquakes. With all this, we were glad to be alive.
And at Sosua, life and industry had been speeding on with all the enthusiasm and ardor that typify a people charting a new beginning. Hundreds of virgin acres were cleared in the first months. The settlers were picked for health and fitness, and the sturdy pioneers were not found wanting.
They worked very, very hard in that unbelievable heat.
And you got to understand that these people were either merchants, intellectuals, or in business. None of them were agriculture.
I've never stuck anything into the ground that came out again. It was a completely new experience. We tried everything. We tried bananas, which flourished.
Los dominicanos eran que ordeñaban y se ocupaban del arreglo de los animales. Cada colono tenía un grupo de dominicanos empleados también.
So I learned how to work on a pig farm. I learned how to make butter and cheese. I learned agriculture. I had to clear pasture to live. And I had intention to go eventually on my own farm.
But through the months of work and play, the Sosua settler strives toward one goal, his own homestead. At the end of the concentrated training period, it is the hope of each worker to claim his own property.
The Joint Distribution Committee made that everybody who learned something about agriculture will get 40 hectares land and 10 cows. When he was married, he got 1 cow more for the wife, and for each child, 1 more cow.
My father decided that that was no life for him to be on a farm. Somehow or other, he could not adjust to that kind of life.
There were some people who were not on the farm. There were teachers and doctors, hairdresser. One worked there in a supermarket.
One time a chemist from Czechoslovakia was there, so he came to me and said, "Ernie, could you build a still?" I said, I could vaguely remember when I was apprentice, the farmers used to come to my uncle to build a still to make moonshine. We finished the job, and very primitive everything, but it worked.
We built 2 big industries there. One was called Silka. They took all the milk every morning and made butter there. They made cheeses, and they delivered it all over the country. And the other one was called Ganadera. There they made sausages and stuff like that.
En la carnicería, en la industria del queso, trabajaban, daban mucha vida porque había muchos dominicanos. Incluso mi papá, que vivía de la construcción. Relaciones entre los inmigrantes y los dominicanos eran muy, muy buenas, ya muy bien.
Of course, it wasn't easy to deal with all the diseases, mainly malaria, that was very prevalent.
We slept under mosquito netting. But every night before you went to sleep, you had to undo your bed to make sure that there weren't any tarantulas under your sheets.
We were able to establish a little hospital, and many of the women had children, and we were able, to help take care of the health of the settlers. We gave medical help not only to the refugees, but also to the local Dominicans. It was very satisfactory.
The government was very, very helpful and supportive of the community. including the Dominicans. And whatever we needed or so on, there was no shortage whatsoever.
We lived like in a golden cage. We had enough food, we had a roof over our head, we had some entertainment, but it was constricted, you know. We weren't used to it.
I felt the worst thing happened to me is to have to separate from my family, you know.
And my father tried very hard to get anybody out of France or anybody that we could, and nothing could be done.
There was a problem here. There were not enough Jewish girls here, for many men and very few girls. I was the first Jewish person in Sosúa who married a Dominican girl.
And my father formed a Yiddish theater company, and they put on a number of Jewish plays. He did a musical.
I organized a choir there of non-musicians. Most of them, with the exception of two, couldn't read music. And we performed, and it was a pretty good little amateurish choir.
We had a very nice childhood. We had a beach, we had horses, we had cows, and we had a nice camaraderie over there with our friends.
Every morning I got on this horse, rode to my friend, left my horse there, and from there the station wagon picked me up to go to school.
There was a multi-age kind of grouping in the school because there weren't that many children. We immediately started learning Spanish.
Those are granted scholarships to the children of Dominican workers in the industries.
Bueno, por mi papá, tú sabes que mi papá era trabajador, entonces andaban buscando niños escogidos para la escuela. Me escogieron a mí por él.
In school, we celebrated Dominican holidays and celebrated the Jewish holidays too.
We formed our own little Jewish group there, and there was a learned man. He functioned as rabbi. I started to have services in one of the barracks. There was no anti-Semitism in this country.
No había ningún tipo de discriminación.
When you came from Europe, you were inferior race, you were a Jew. And nobody, a Jew, they came to San Domingo, so all of a sudden we were not anymore the subhuman.